So, but then you can actually explain shortly, I think, yeah, about what do you think is important, about the most important from our 1D event, maybe for such kind of highlight for all journalists coming to this press conference. Hopefully, it will be followed by a kind of discussion or position. Please, Pak.
Sure. Terima kasih. Selamat sore. Assalamualaikum. I think the most important feature of the event today, and also Pak Najib and Pak Khalil also mentioned that the event today is going to be followed by an event at Princeton University next month. These events really are a reflection of the growing soft power of Indonesia in general and Nahdlatul Ulama in particular, which it's projecting across the world. We assume that countries like Indonesia, countries that are not often mentioned among the great powers of the world, we assume these countries are not really relevant or important in strengthening a rules-based international order. But I think what's most remarkable is that we're seeing the ascendancy of Indonesia's role on the world stage as a stakeholder and as a defender and as a promoter of a reformed rules-based international order. And this is a reflection of Indonesia's original founding vision. As we quoted in the discussion today, the 1945 Constitution states that Indonesia should participate in establishing a world order founded upon the principles of freedom, perpetual peace, and social justice. So, Nahdlatul Ulama and the Indonesian government, in a sense, are returning to that original constitutional vision and saying that Indonesia has a duty and a responsibility to participate in establishing a truly just world order, not just for its own self-interest, but for the interest of humanity. And the fact that Nahdlatul Ulama is a major leader in this effort reflects the fact that Nahdlatul Ulama has a strong respect for this Indonesian founding vision, but also Nahdlatul Ulama's own vision from its founding in 1926 was a universal vision to consolidate the universe, if I understand correctly, to restore a kind of unity to the whole of God's creation. So these conferences are a reflection of the fact that Indonesia is, in a sense, and Nahdlatul Ulama are being true to their founding vision. And what's remarkable as well is that many people are following now the leadership of Indonesia. We see more and more countries completely being overtaken by an extreme nationalism, which is oppressing religious minorities. We see large countries overthrowing the rules-based order, seeking only their own interests, inflicting violence in other countries. We see extreme kinds of ideologies throughout much of Asia, Africa, Latin America, where we see populist leaders being elected who are not concerned about a universal vision of the common good. Indonesia is increasingly standing apart as a model for the rest of the world. And it's not only sitting back quietly as an example, but is asserting itself as a model. This was, I think, a very powerful element in President Joko Widodo's beautiful remarks this morning, in which he, I think, very correctly pointed out how Indonesia, with its incredible diversity, is a true model of unity in diversity that other countries would do well to follow and to emulate. There's one third reason this is significant. I'll just say that more and more people around the world have given up on the post-war international order. They've given up on the idea of universal human rights. They've given up because of a kind of cynicism and relativism that, well, there really aren't any universal standards, such standards don't exist, or even if they do exist, it's hopeless to try to enforce a rules-based international order. Many Western countries are giving up on the idea of a rules-based order. Countries like India are rather critical of the idea of a liberal rules-based order. They want to play by their own rules. Countries like Russia, China, Iran want to get rid of any kind of rules-based international order. Even many educated people in the West think that there's no universal human nature, therefore no human rights. So the fact that Indonesia is saying, no, we want to recommit to universal human rights. We want to recommit to the UN Charter. We want to recommit to the idea of the inherent dignity of all people. This is an absolutely amazing, remarkable fact, and a testimony to Indonesia's self-confidence, its cultural self-confidence, its religious self-confidence, and it's testimony to the vision of President Joko Widodo, and of course the vision of Kiai Haji Yaudil Saqib, General Chairman of pbnu. So there are three reasons why this is remarkable. And this event we're having next month in Princeton. Princeton is one of the world's greatest universities. We will be in Princeton almost on the very anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, 75th anniversary. Many great scholars from around the world will be gathering at the invitation of Pakyaya to recommit on the basis of the best philosophical, religious, moral foundations, to recommit to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights at a time of grave danger and crisis in the world. We're really at a point in the world which is like the 1930s, where we're on the verge of perhaps another world war. We're on the verge of terrible violence, even worse, and it's time for responsible leaders to wake up and recommit to a humanitarian, universal moral vision, which Indonesia